Hoopballers, welcome back. We're doing a little bit different this week. It is Saturday Night Lyle for the 22nd of March here. It's 21st over in the US of A. I'm joined with Steve and Santino. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Saturday night.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, it feels like I'm down under.
Yeah, well, I can tell you all of the everything that's going to happen in the future. It's 10 a.m. here, so brace for a big Saturday night because it is a wild ride in Australia at the moment. I know with all of the things going on in the world at the moment, obviously that's probably something we should acknowledge in the beginning. I know everyone's sort of have jumped on it a bit, and that's the main topic at the moment. In Australia, for example, at the moment, we've just had an announcement that all non-essential travel has been banned, and we know that's affected a lot of the sport. Besides that, the AFL at the moment, that's the only thing that's really going on in the entire world. We might jump into that a little bit later on, should we get time. But otherwise, what's happening over there with you guys at the moment?
I'm on the East Coast. I'm like right next to New York. It's getting there. I know New York has got shut down, and a couple other states have gotten shut down. For us, it's just unless you're an essential employee, they want you to stay home. The governor already issued it. Pretty much, I'm assuming it's where it is around the whole country and where Steve is right now.
Oh yeah, so I'm over here in California, and we've been on lockdown or shelter in place since Monday night. So it's been quite a strange experience over here. Hoping for things to get back to normal as soon as possible, but it's also going to be strange when things return. When basketball is back, it's going to be amazing, but it's going to be a little weird. We'll see if it'll be played with fans or not, but it's just going to be strange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think we have to get used to this new normal, the change in everything. I think if anything, it's a wake up call for the world as it is at the moment. There's a lot of things going on. There was a big climate change movement, and that's something that probably goes hand in hand with this a little bit. Trying not to get political on Saturday Night Lyle, but all of these sort of things are things that I suppose affect the world and affect the people, and I think. We hear reports of Venice, the dolphins returning to the canals. We hear birds returning to Wuhan in China, different things like this because people are away, the pollution's going down, and all of a sudden, the world's sort of healing itself. I don't know, get a little bit into it. But, I think people going away for a little bit probably isn't the worst thing, and if it means that we stop this virus quicker than it's currently spreading, because at the moment there's no vaccines, there's nothing like that. I think at the moment isolation's the key. Stay away, stay home, and then we recover after that. And this new normal, I know for me, my work will be working from home for for the foreseeable future. So I'll be.
Oh. Did he freeze on us?
Looks like we lost Lyle there for a second. He's going to be working from home. Let's just
hopefully that Wi-Fi holds up.
Yeah, let me remove from the stream and then see if he pops back in.
Yeah, I'm with him too. I've been working from home too. That's pretty much what they want us to do. Everything remotely. Good thing we can do stuff remotely and keep the job going. But for a lot of people, that's not a reality, and you can't work home.
Yeah, I operate a small little winery in California, and right now we're shut down. I mean, we could do online orders and do pickups, but we can't.
That's brutal.
We can't have our tasting room open, and it's just everything has changed. The whole dynamic of the world has changed. So one thing to note is, we wash your hands before and after you do anything. Don't touch your face. If you cough, you cover your mouth. Things that you learn when you're younger.
Right.
You might take them for granted, but those are things that are important now.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's transition into the NBA until Lyle will hop on in a little bit. So I guess in the NBA right now, I think that the count is up to 13 coronavirus cases amongst players 13. And staff. I was writing the blurbs the other day and I saw 13. I mean, 13 out of how many people have been tested? Let's say 60 or 70 or 80 people. That's quite a large percentage of people who have been tested. We don't know how many people have been tested, but don't you think that's large, right?
Yeah, that's and for 13 cases too, and it just started, or well, we think it just started. We don't really have much information. It's a pretty high percentage of getting this virus, and it's sweeping through everybody, not just the NBA, but all over. I don't know the exact number. I heard you said 13. I wasn't keeping tallies, but I saw like people on the Thunder and other people got it. There are 3 on the Nets. One was KD. That was the last ones I was watching. But it's there.
Yeah. I think the Sixers, somebody on the Sixers, or a couple players on the Sixers, somebody on the Celtics. I think it might have been Marcus Smart, Kevin Durant, and a few other Nets.
Mm-hmm.
It's John Collins. It's sweeping around the NBA. So there's not a whole. Oh, here's Lyle. Let me add him back in.
Internet dropped out. Yeah, how would it be? I'm on my phone now, so we'll do my best. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we got you.
Beautiful. So I don't know what happened there. That's the world we live in.
Mm-hmm.
Internet giving it away, so that was pretty good fun. But
I've been hearing a lot of things about it too. People with the internet, since everybody's home and everybody's going to be on the internet, there's a lot of thought that it might crash soon, and people are saying try not to use as much bandwidth. I don't know how realistic that is to tell people to do that, but that might be a reality soon too, and that would be the worst.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that our Australian internet, the NBN, which is a new thing that came through, they upgraded all of the providers and all of the actual wires that it was running. So it was originally on copper wires. Now it's on this this fiber optic thing. And they've just increased the bandwidth on that, and they've requested that Netflix and Amazon Prime, Amazon Plus, and all of those Stan and all of those sort of streaming services actually reduce their bandwidth or their bit rate or something, so that it can actually not crash everyone's internet. So I was running around mad thing trying to work out what I was going to do. It has died, so we're on 4G and we'll see what happens. So what were you guys? What were you talking about in my brief absence? Anything of note?
Yeah, we were talking about the different NBA players and how the percentage of NBA players who have gotten tested positive versus, we don't know the exact amount of people who have been tested, but it seems like a high percentage. And if you extrapolate that for the rest of, people, we're looking at a scary situation, and that's obviously why we're doing what we're, doing as a world. So.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, what is it? As of Friday, I think it was 13 people tested positive or thereabouts, 13 or 14 amongst 6 organisations. And, those guys played, 40 minutes together, and that all of a sudden extrapolated across, the month since, it feels like a month. It's been about 3 weeks since basketball finished. It's pretty hectic that we're still getting cases even now when these guys have been in self-isolation. So, it is scary times.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. And I know the Nets, they weren't even in contact with anybody. They weren't even in contact with the people that originally got it. Like when Gobert got it, they didn't play Utah or anybody, or they didn't play Detroit, and they still got it. So it's everywhere. We just don't know exactly where it is right now because we're not really testing.
It looks like we got a question here in the chat. Let me post it here for you guys. Do we think that NC2A players will fight for another year of eligibility, or will win the fight for another year of eligibility? What do you guys think about that? Do you think that they're going to be able to play another season since they got their March Madness stripped from them, their senior night?
That's an interesting question. Before I say anything, I do have to say, Corey, I love that logo. That's awesome. I haven't seen that before. With all the teams meshed in, it's awesome. I'm assuming you're from Toronto, or you just really like all of Toronto sports, but yeah, it's a really good one. As far as this question in particular, I see underneath who will win the fight. I think they'll try and fight for another year of eligibility. I mean, why not? Especially if you're a senior. Actually, it's tough. If you don't see yourself going to the NBA draft, or you see yourself, a tournament would make you like seniors and juniors that have been playing for a while, and they needed this tournament to put themselves on the map and put themselves on the second round ballot, or even go play in the G League or overseas for a bit, and then work on their craft and then get into the NBA. They'll try and fight, but we haven't really seen any NCAA players win their cases too often against the NCAA. It's just not a thing. It's maybe 1 in 1,000 times. But I think they'll try. I just don't think they'll win. Hope maybe because this is completely different than anything we've ever seen before. So they have a better shot, and this time for me, I would think, but I still don't think they'd win it.
Yeah, completely agree. In every sport they've come up against the NCAA, it has just been an absolute battle. I mean, you have a look at the football and, right. Anything they do, they just get absolutely hammered. They get no rights. All the players, it took until, Los Angeles or the Californian government actually stepped in and said, well, no, we're going to pay players just for that to happen.
Yeah.
And even that's going to be fairly, I think, few and far between as to whether all the players actually profit from this, or whether it's just the big earners, I suppose, like basketball and football and sports like that. In terms of whether or not they'll get another one, I think they deserve it. I mean, the biggest, beneficiaries from the tournaments and the like of these guys that sit just outside the first round, of guys that are just outside, draft eligibility, or in the scouting reports, I guess. I think an extra year, or an even March Madness, gives them that extra boost. If they have a big tournament, we've seen guys jump up into the top 15, top 10, top 5, just from big games. So, you'd feel pretty hard done by being a 4-year senior and sitting there going, give us another go. I never got my champion. I never got my chance at glory. So we'll see what happens. But, I'm not optimistic.
Yeah.
But
on this one, let me go the counter argument to you guys, maybe partially because I like to do that, but also if the players are going to win any fight, I think this is the fight that they could win, because they basically had the opportunity taken away from them. It's not like they were suspended. They didn't do anything to get themselves in trouble, to get themselves ineligible to play. This was a complete unforeseen event. The whole tournament was canceled. You could maybe make an argument that if somebody has another year already of eligibility, like if you're a junior going into your senior year, maybe it's different than if you're a senior or if you're in your last year of eligibility. But I think the guys who are in their last years of eligibility, I think if the NCAA will, quote unquote, lose the fight, it might not even be it. They might even lose the fight if they don't give them the extra year of eligibility, because I feel like it could create a PR nightmare for them. Maybe they'll do something different if a guy already has another year of eligibility ready to use than if it was their last year. But I think if the players are going to win a fight, this would be the fight that they would win. But you guys are right that the players get screwed by the NC2A. Pretty much everyone does. So,
it pretty much boils down to just the seniors who would need this, or the juniors. But at the same time, maybe they think if you're graduating and you're in your graduating class and you're not even going to be at the school anymore, why would we give you another year of eligibility? So, I mean, they're going to fight it. They're going to try and do whatever they can, but we'll see what happens. This is an unprecedented territory, so it could go either way.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, completely agree. That's a great question, Corey. Yeah, that was good. it's nice to have questions come through. We're few and far between on the Facebook page, but jumping through is good. So, yeah. Any other questions? Make sure you shoot them through, and we'll get to them. I think we're actually at the point now where we'd better do what's a staple now. I mean, I've been going for 10 weeks, and this is something that I never meant to actually take off, but I was getting asked about it by friends and stuff that actually watch it. And it's called Mug of the Week, and welcome to this institution. Basically, because it's Sunday morning for me, I wake up and I have a couple of cups of coffee, and I have a array of eccentric mugs that are in my house. And so each week I've had a different one. And we've had a sloth mug. We've had Boba Fett's head. What else have we had? We had my old high school's mug, I think, was in there. And that was odd that I had a mug from there, but, you get that. Op shopping and all that. But so what we're going to do is we're going to unveil Mug of the Week for this this week. For me, I've got all the way from Berry in New South Wales, little panda, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, it looks better than it is practical. It's been very difficult to drink out. The ears are in the way, and then the handles. So you're sort of, in terms of actual drinking ability, you don't have someone with a big mouth like me. It makes it difficult to actually drink from. But yeah, what have you guys got? You got any special mugs to get us kicking off Mug of the Week with?
Yeah, well, first of all, you got to send that a replica of that mug to Mike Passador over here at Hoopball. That should be his mug, right? That's his go-to.
It's a really cool mug, I gotta say.
So right here, I got a badass donkey right here, because I'm just feeling badass. So
perfect. I like it. And I'm not a big coffee drinker. I drink espressos from time to time, but rarely. I'll drink tea, sometimes hot chocolate. That's what I have now. But I have one mug. This is my mug, my Dolphin mug. That's all I got for you.
Are you a Dolphins fan?
Yeah, that's partly the reason, well, mainly the reason why I have the mug. I don't like that face. Like when we get 2-0, you could continue making that face. Yeah, nothing to brag about the last few years, but I have my mug still.
Yeah, you got Ryan Tannehill. You could brag about him in a way.
No, we had him.
Yeah.
Well, that was the most mugs that we've ever presented on this show. So that's a record now. And this episode 11 will go down in history as the most mugs shown on this show. So thanks very much for contributing with that. And if anyone wants to vote on who had the best mug, it'd be this guy. But anyway, feel free to do so. And make sure this show is usually broadcast on Facebook, and because on the Facebook Live, because we've got some special guests with me today, this is how we're doing it. Probably, I don't know if we'll do it from now on, but now and then, I suppose while we're in these uncertain times, we'll keep playing it by ear. But it's nice having other people on here as well. It gives me a chance to drink without just slurping through the microphone.
Yeah.
But awesome. And make sure we all jump over and like the Facebook page and get onto there, because we're trying to get that going. There's a bit of content on there, and it's all part of the Hoopball network and stuff that we're providing for our loving subscribers that jump in. And once we start up next season, or which takes us to the next topic, perhaps Spencer Dinwiddie's tournament.
I like that idea.
Did you see that he spoke about that on Twitter? Spencer Dinwiddie put forward a 28-team tournament that basically was that everyone's going to play. No fans miss out. Perhaps probably the Knicks fans, but but what are the thoughts? Does anyone want to give us a rundown? Santino, have you had a look at this one?
Yeah, I actually looked at it. I like the idea. It makes sense because of what happened and everything. Oh, before I say anything, I was just looking at all of our names, and it's funny how all of our Twitter names are our actual names. I just thought that was funny to point out. But I looked at Spencer Dinwiddie's proposal. It's pretty much a March Madness style tournament, but we're doing it in the NBA. I know that Commissioner Adam Silver wanted to do something like that in December, I believe. Not this year, but going forward, maybe implement a tournament style type thing. And if they want to see how it works, this would be the perfect time, because if they pick up the season in, say, June, it's really weird to just pick up the last 3-4 weeks of the season and then get into the playoffs. I'm assuming most people are going to be not like resting like they were going to be into the playoffs, but it's just going to be really different. But this style, it would be a 28 team tournament. I'm looking at his tweet right now. It says 28 team tournament, top 4 seeds get a bye. So who is that? Lakers, Raptors, Bucks, Nuggets, I believe. Would be the top 4 teams. And then the bottom 4 teams would be in a play-in style, just like the tournament is. So Steve's Warriors would be number 30. I just had to throw that one out. But yeah, then I guess it's the first round is a best of 3, which is cool. The next round would be best of 5, and then it would continue like that. When I first heard about it, I was like, oh, I don't really like that, because the good thing about the playoffs is you have to beat someone 4 times to advance. Anybody could win in a one-off game. It happens all the time in the NCAA tournament. I know it's a little different in the NBA because of the caliber of player, but one game anybody could win. But the tournament style where you have to do a best of 3 just to move on, I really like that idea. For a season that got cut short in half like this, well, not in half, but just got cut short, and we still have the playoffs. This is a fantastic idea. And if you think about it, really the teams that are already in the playoffs should play. And it helps out the teams in the West that are all jumbled and like a couple games back from the Grizzlies, like the Blazers, the Kings, the Pelicans, all of them, and the Spurs. Even the Suns are kind of there, but every team that's just jumbled, it works in their favor, because if we just stop the season and go straight to the playoffs, I mean, one of those teams could make it over, could have made it over the Grizzlies. So it's kind of hard to just say, no, you're out. So I'm really in favor of this idea if they do it. And like I said, Adam Silver was thinking about doing this in December of a year moving forward. So it's a good test to see how it would play out if they do decide to do this.
So I have a couple of questions, and we got a question in here. If you could help me understand, I didn't see this on Twitter, Santino. So the bottom 4 teams play in for the bottom 2 seeds, and then the top 4 seeds have a bye. And so then you have, how many teams is that left? It would be
28 teams in the first round, but only 24 play. So the first 4 teams would have a bye, and then the 24 would play, and obviously 12 would be left, and then those 4 teams that had the bye would come back. So then it's a 16-team tournament, then 8, just like the March Madness. But it says the first round would be time. No, the first round where there's 20, like after the 2 play-in games, there's 24 teams that play in the first round, best of 3, and then the next round when it's best of. Oh, I read that wrong. My bad. Best of 3 is for the play-in game, and then the 24 teams with the 4 on bye, so it's a round of 28. That's a best of 5, and then round 16 proceeds as usual. Maybe I'm assuming best of 7, like we play in the regular playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah. So and that then determines from 25, 6, 7, 28, those 4 teams, because you've got 30 teams, they're going to have to work out those standings by having those play-in games. So the ones that are ranked currently 27, 28, 29, 30 are going to have to play against each other. So you still get the next 3 games of them before they set sail for the rest of the year. But interesting sort of tournament. I mean, everyone gets their basketball then, I guess.
Yeah. And I'm seeing Corey's question now too. So Corey, the top 4 teams in the standings wouldn't play. So the Bucks wouldn't play, and I'm pretty sure the Raptors have the 3rd best record. I haven't checked since basketball ended, but they should have a bye as well. And then I'm assuming the proposal was the standings as they currently stand right now, because you can't just pick out of a hat and then go from there.
Yeah. I think current standings, just given that these people have earned the right, I mean, to date, to sit at the top of the ladder. So, I mean, if you've got, Lakers, Bucks, Nuggets, and who's the other one? Raptors. You know, these guys have worked hard for 90% of or 80% of the season. Yeah. So they would get the bye in the first round, and then from there it'd heat up. But a good way for the Kings to play a bit of playoff basketball as well as the Suns. And
the
ones we haven't seen.
And the crazy thing about it is by the time we start playing again, if it comes to fruition, if we play basketball again, there's going to be so many people that were hurt or nicked up or banged up that are going to be healthy by the time this rolls around again. And it's anybody's ball game, especially if in this type of scenario. I would assume Towns would be back. People, maybe Klay Thompson plays in the playing game. I don't know.
Warriors
other people
dynasty.
like that. Yeah, maybe Malcolm Brogdon's fully healthy and Oladipo has more time to heal up. Pacers are a tough out. And there's so many things that could play, but we don't know when this is going to happen or if this is going to happen.
Well, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, I heard Durant doesn't want to play though, or isn't going to play. But if he pushes back to the middle of the summer, possibly. One thing I was thinking of the other day was DeMarcus. The Lakers just cut DeMarcus Cousins. Imagine if they didn't, and they come back to the playoffs and he's fully healthy, because he was saying that he was trying to get back for the playoffs, but now the playoffs are delayed a month and a half, 2 months. He would have made that team lethal.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, imagine that's a threat backed up by Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee. It's like,
right.
We just play you all 15 minutes a game, 20 minutes a game.
Yeah, they wouldn't even really need him, because anything he does is just would be a bonus. But yeah, that was interesting.
Absolutely. I just think if you're going to try this year has been so weird. I mean, thinking about the year to date, what are we in? We're in March. In my 10 episodes to date, the first one we talked about Stern, about the fourth one we talked about Kobe. All of a sudden we're talking about this. It's been a huge few months in the basketball landscape. It's absolutely shifted to the nth degree. And I think if they're going to try anything, they should do it now. As soon as we're all cleared to go out and run around again, well, we've lost a season. It's going to affect next season. I think we have to be realistic as to whatever they decide to do to finish this one, whether they just call it or they put something on, it's going to affect next season, even in terms of scouting, in terms of the draft, all of these things that happen in the off season, they're all going to be pushed back because we just can't have the people together to do it. We haven't had the scouting of the NCAA tournament. And going forward, these teams are going to be sitting there going, well, do we just scrap this season, or do we make a bit of fun out of it and call it the Dinwiddie tournament?
That's a good observation, because the draft is supposed to be in June, and a lot of teams evaluate a big March Madness, as we were saying before, could propel you from a potential lottery pick to a top 5 pick, or potential top 20 pick into the lottery. All this changes. It's just uncharted territory. We'll see how it works out.
Yes, absolutely.
One thing I would have to say on the whole Dinwiddie tournament, maybe we can rename it and call it the Vidovich tournament. So I think what the NBA should do, the Warriors shouldn't be in a tournament. They shouldn't have a chance at the NBA title. Even as a Warrior fan, that ship has sailed. If you get Klay Thompson, Steph Curry back with Wiggins, who knows? Maybe they could end up making it to the round of 8 teams left. You never know what could happen. They don't deserve to be there. What I would do, because I do understand that you don't want just the top 8 teams, but I would do 10 teams. And I would do your 7 seed plays your 10 seed, your 8 seed plays your 9 seed as kind of like the play-in to get the last 2 spots. And then from there, maybe you have the first round as best of 5, and then after that, do a best of 7 from there on out. And maybe, to get the teams warmed up, you do 2 or 3 exhibition games. And the teams can, use that how they would like. And that way you don't have, the Warriors and the Knicks and the Hawks giving up 150 points in a playoff game. You just don't want that. So I like Dinwiddie's idea. It would be fun, and it would kind of give you that March Madness craving that maybe people want. But I think you want to limit it to 10 teams. And I think that's the way they should look at doing it if they're going to do something like this.
Yeah. I think it only makes sense for the West Coast teams, because the East is pretty much locked in already for who's making the playoffs and who wasn't. It was just that jumbled 8 seed in the West that was up for grabs. And I guess I see your point of it's not fair for a team like the Warriors, but the only team that could realistically change the playoff seedings would be the Warriors, because then they'd be healthy. That's if Klay Thompson and everybody felt like playing and going for it. That would be the only team I could see that just was trash that could win a series. Like the Cavs, the Knicks, the Pistons, the Bulls, they need to take or draft people from other teams just to have a shot.
That's fair. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, even that jumbled sort of mess that is the Western Conference. I mean, I like Spencer Dinwiddie's purely because Blazers are sitting at like 10th. So, for me, get him in. Get it. We got Nurkic back. He can set some screens. Zach Collins might miraculously heal. I don't know what's wrong with his shoulder. That's been out for months.
Yeah, he might. I think he would be back, actually.
That'd be good.
Yeah, he seemed like he was close, and he was hoping to come back before the end of the regular season, was what I was hearing before everything happened. So,
Lyle, are you a Blazers fan?
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So for me, we had the NBA was broadcast over here while I was doing my year 11 exams. So you have 2 weeks off at home and you get to study for your exams, and broadcast over there on 1HD, which now is some nothing channel. But it was a dedicated sports channel. It was right on Thursday mornings for which was the Wednesday night slate. So you get a double header. Watched that, and I just fell in love with LaMarcus Aldridge. Thought he was just awesome. Like his game was just like, that is sick. No one can stop him. He shoots from like 7-3 because he shoots over his head. I was just like, he is dominating. Then we drafted this upstart Damian Lillard, and I'm sitting there going, this couldn't get any better. So for me, that was probably what it did. Then he left, and I wept for like 3 months straight. And then there was rumors that he was going to come back, and he wanted to come back. He got cold feet, and we're like, bring him back. But he just didn't. So that was it. And now, I mean, you got Dame Lillard, who's just all NBA. He's next level. I reckon he's just, everything about him, I just think's wicked. So fangirling over here. Yeah. So him and CJ are pretty good.
Were you a fan before or after like the Greg Oden debacle or the Brandon Roy?
Brandon Roy. Oof.
Could have been so good. So that was right
Brandon
when I sort of got into it. So we had Greg Oden, Kevin Durant, the Greg Oden debacle was sort of deliberated. That was right when I got into it. So, Brandon Roy was just phenomenal. You're sitting there and you're watching it, and you're just like, and Greg Oden was by no means a scrub. Like he was
awesome great in college. Yeah. He was awesome. And then it's just those things happen. It's sad that it hit them like that so hard, so quickly with two
all at once.
Two guys that could have been franchise altering superstar type level.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the luck of the draw, isn't it? You never micro fractures in his feet, and basically just derailed him completely. I did read an article by him, an interview that he gave, would have been maybe 6-7 months ago, and they said he went down a pretty dark path, and it was really spiraled. So basketball seemed to be his escape, and when you have it taken away from you, when you're at the absolute peak of your physical abilities and age, it's devastating to see that. You never like to see it in any sport, in anything. It's pretty full on. But all the best to him, and hopefully I think he's been doing a bit of coaching and stuff now. So big unit he was. Hopefully he can sort himself out and contribute to the sport that he likes or that he loves. Yeah. But
well said.
G.O. They get me emotional about my Blazers, but
sadly, I feel sorry that you are a Blazers fan, though. I do have to point that. I can talk about my basketball team. It's not the Dolphins.
Yeah. So who do you support? Who do you follow?
The purple and gold.
Oh,
I'm a Laker fan. I'm one of those guys that ever since I was like little, I've had everything Kobe. Yeah, I've had about 10 Kobe jerseys since I can remember.
Oh well, it's not a bad team to support.
No,
They've been pretty successful.
yeah, I saw quite a few championships. So if I don't see another one, I'll be all right with it.
But are you disappointed with the end of the season? I feel like Laker fans are the most upset out of any NBA fan or franchise because they thought that the year was theirs.
I didn't necessarily think it was ours because I know the Clippers come playoff time, they're going to be very strong to beat when George and Kawhi and everybody's playing 35, 40 minutes of hard-nosed, tough defensive basketball. It's going to be hard to beat them, but it was one of those two LA teams going to play whoever makes it out of the East. I'm not going to say the Bucks because look what happened last year. But yeah, I was kind of upset. I really wanted LeBron to get one. As a Laker fan, I heard and read every single story last year of everybody just piling on from Pelinka to LeBron to the Buss family to everything that the Lakers did. And then LeBron got hurt. Everybody just piled on, they're done. They're done. All this tension, all this stuff throughout the summer. And even when they got in AD, everybody was blowing them up. And then he showed everybody that he's still LeBron James and he still knows how to play the basketball better than anybody else that's living. So it's like, I really wanted him to get it. And then just the big redemption story, whatnot. And I show that just like Brady did a couple years ago, even though I hate the Patriots, and when everybody counted him out and then they won 2 Super Bowls right after that, that's what I wanted for LeBron. So that's one thing that was like, but we'll see what happens. Maybe they finish out the year and he gets it anyway.
Well, Brady's gone.
Yeah, Brady's gone.
Yeah.
I did not expect
strange
that.
times. That's just where the world is. It's just where the world is. Oh my Lord!
Really?
I read that and I was like, "What do you mean?" Please no.
Right? I kept seeing the rumors that he might go, and I was no. I don't see it. I don't see it. And then I woke up and he was in a Bucks jersey, like the you know how they do
Photoshop
that? Yeah, Photoshop. I couldn't think of the word, and I was like, oh, it's real. Okay.
Okay. It's world's gone mad.
Maybe the Dolphins win the division now. Who knows?
Yeah, well, could very well. Yeah, jeepers. It is, hectic times indeed. I just don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with this NBA season. I mean, we just wrapped up the Australian NBL. That's just finished. So we had 3 of the 5 games played in our grand final series. They were played with no crowd, so closed stadiums. It was between my Perth Wildcats and the Sydney Kings. Wildcats for life. We went back to back, so they ended up calling off the series after 3, and we finished 2-1. We beat Sydney twice over there. They beat us once here. It was weird to watch on TV with no crowds, but real weird. But we ended up pulling it off. The NBL awarded it to the Wildcats, even though we only played 3 out of 5. But so we're back-to-back championships, 10 in the last 34 years, 34 straight championships. Finals appearances. Wow. We've been pretty successul. Yeah, so
34 straight.
Yeah, so we never missed the playoffs for 34 years. Yeah.
What?
So, yeah, we only have a 10-team league, so top 4 goes through. So one of them's always locked in for the Wildcats. So
was Andrew Bogut on the Wildcats?
So he's on Sydney Kings. So he's down. So he plays for Sydney. We've got Bryce Cotton, who played for the Jazz for a while. We've got Miles Plumlee, so we signed him.
Plum.
Big unit. He's massive. He's a big unit. And Tarico White as well as the other guy that we got. Played for Detroit for a little while, a few years ago, and then bounced around different international leagues. So, we've had big those 3 are imports. So you're only allowed to have 3 Americans on your team or 3 international, not Australian players. Australia, New Zealand, and then we pulled it off. So big mid-season signing of Plumlee, and he just set those physical screens and got up for a few lobs, and pretty awesome to watch. So go Wildcats! Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, he was wasn't he on the Hawks, and then he just wasn't healthy, and then he just went to Australia.
Yeah, I think they he was bought out. I think he got to training camp. He was traded, and then just it wasn't healthy. I think they waived him. He then went to China, played down there. Reckons it was just no good whatsoever. They just have a weird type of basketball down there. And then we had Dario Hunt, who is a American who was playing in Italy. I think he played with Bryce Cotton in Italy. We signed him as a center at the start of the season. He was all right, but didn't fit the system. Flogged him off, brought Big Plum in, and we were on. So finished second on the ladder. And the NBL, I know it was streamed, I think, on Facebook into the US, and because we had LaMelo Ball down there, we had RJ Hampton were playing down there. So he won Rookie of the Year actually, LaMelo Ball. So it was big times for Australian basketball. It was quite good watching that. Yeah, not bad at all, and good for the Wildcats because I was sitting in a pub in Sydney watching Game 3, and I was just like, "Oh, we're on here," and no one in Sydney watches it whatsoever. Like they just all rugby. So I was sitting there heckling people in the pub, and they were just not even having a bar. Like we're not even watching. I was like, "Yeah, watch." But basketball's not massive down here. Not the biggest, or the NBL's not anyway. But pretty good. Good result.
So, what do you think about Ball? There's some talk about him being the number 1 overall pick. Do you think he's worthy of the number 1 overall pick? Or RJ Hampton's like supposedly a highly recruited guy too.
Yeah. I was going to say that was a nice name drop. I completely forgot about him when he decided not to go to college, but I didn't realize he went there.
He was the first one. Yeah. So he came over. We started a Next Stars program. So he came out, and basically a team was allowed to sign these guys. So he went and played in New Zealand Breakers. Basically you could sign them and have them as a fourth import, I guess. So you could have your 3 Americans and then bring him in as well. The league would pay for him to be there. You develop him. It was good for the league. So he didn't count to your salary, or 50,000 of his salary didn't count to your actual salary cap, which is pretty good. So, so he came out. He's really good. They're young. They're playing against men. I think they're only going to be better for playing against these big units. Plumlee's massive. Honestly, Bogut's a big man as well. And these guys are still driving in. They're getting absolutely flattened. We've got some of the best. Well, I like to say we've got some of the world-class defenders in there because, that's all they work on is grit grind sort of slug it out basketball down there. And, LaMelo Ball, I think he's pretty good. He is pretty good. His shot selection is something that he's going to have to work on. I think if he got drafted to the Warriors and he sat behind guys like Clay and Curry, you'd be pretty happy with that because you'd have to learn these are the shots you're going to take
in the NBA.
This is the system. Yeah, exactly. You can't just launch from half court and think that it's going to go in. That you just can't do it.
Unless you're Trae Young. Then you can think about it.
Him and Lillard are probably the only two that are allowed. And Curry. But for him, I think it's going to be a big learning curve for him going and playing in the top league. Could he be number 1 draft pick? I think it's a pretty shallow sort of top 10 anyway, I think, from all reports. Anywhere in the top 3, I think you'd be pretty happy having him. He was getting triple doubles in our league, and that doesn't happen very often. So, because we only play 40-minute or 10-minute quarters, so you just don't have enough time on the court to really get it that many stats. But he's pretty good. I'd be happy with him. I wouldn't mind him at all. Yeah, him or RJ, both of them look like solid players going forward. So we'll see what happens, but. It'll be a big testament for the NBL if they do come out and get drafted in the top 5 and even top 10 because, they spent a whole year not in the college system. And, so fingers crossed more of the guys come out and play in our leagues. That'd be great. Nothing but good stuff for our league.
Oh, yeah.
I heard the Warriors want to pick someone who's ready to play now, not develop, because that team's ready to win a championship. So it makes sense.
Here, can I make my case to Bob Myers right now on the stream right now?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, who do you want?
Okay, all right, Bob. Draft Obi Toppin. This man is incredible. All right. So let me just read off a few stats I looked up. In D1, if you look at the field goal percentage on the season, on the season, Obi Toppin. He plays for Dayton. They had the best team in history. They were going to go to the tournament and make some noise as an underdog, which they weren't really an underdog. I think they only lost 2 games on the season. And so he's shooting 63% from the field, which is 6th across the entire NC2A. And he has taken 82. He's averaging 2.6 three-pointer attempts per game. So out of anybody in the top 14 players, the next highest guy is taking 0.3 three-point attempts per game. And he's only shooting slightly better than Toppin. So Toppin is shooting 63%, 6th overall in the country, and he's averaging 2.6 attempts per game. He's averaging 70% from the free throw line, 39% from distance. He leads their team in points, rebounds, blocks at 20 points, 7.5 rebounds, 1.2 blocks. He has 1 steal and 2.2 assists per game. And I highly recommend to anybody who hasn't to go and watch this guy's YouTube clip. It is incredible. The man, he can post up. He can shoot from distance. I don't know why he's not getting the hype. I didn't even hear about him until last week because I don't watch college basketball. And my friend turned me on to him, and I watched his highlight tape. There's nobody on the Warriors that I would want the Warriors to draft more than this guy. He looks ready to contribute now, and he looks like a bona fide star for the future. I'm all about Obi Toppin.
Isn't he I think he's a forward center type hybrid, and that's pretty much what they need. When you have Curry, when everybody's healthy, you'll have Curry, Thompson, Wiggins. That's your backcourt, and then you need Draymond, and then someone else who can switch off and pair with him. So, I mean,
yeah, he's 6'9", 220. He's 6'9", 220.
Sounds like he could run the floor and run in their system.
Oof, that's big props.
Yeah.
So what do we? So I mean, what are the player comparisons that we're looking at? I mean, I froth them. I read them all day. What are we looking at? Who's he most like? Do you think?
Oh, that's a really tough question. From what I saw, so he seems like he can be a stretch big, who actually seems like he can handle the ball a little bit. Seems like he has an ability to drive. Obviously, his ball handling would need to improve on the NBA level, but in college, it seemed like he was able to get past people, not at a great rate, but for his size, it seems like he's able to. Ceiling type of player. Oh, that's always so hard to do. I mean, if the Warriors could get somebody who's like a stretch big, who has some post moves. Oh, like
to me, it sounds like you're saying a type of Pascal Siakam kind of guy, like a 6'9" forward who can handle the ball, shoot, and can get by people. I mean, that would be the best case scenario.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I don't think he's as lanky as Siakam. Yeah, that would be incredible if he was able to be Pascal. I think he's a little bit thicker. Like I think he would end up being a little bit more in the post than Siakam is. I've seen him on so I've only seen his highlight reel, his mixtape, right? So it only shows the really nice plays, but they look like plays you could do in the NBA. He looks, I don't know, maybe a Jaren Jackson Jr., who probably is a little bit better of a 3-point shooter out of the gate than JJJ. But it's always hard to do comparisons. Yeah,
that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Anything but LaMelo. I hate the dad. I can't take him. That's why I didn't want I liked Lonzo, but I didn't want the Lakers to draft him because his dad was everywhere, and it's like I don't want to bring all that publicity and whatever you call that onto a team. It's just not a good vibe. I think LaMelo is in that same boat for right now. I don't know.
Have you ever seen Celebrity Deathmatch? Did you ever watch that back in the day?
I used to love that show.
So I think that they should bring it back, and they could have the Ball family versus the Holiday family. And I would just want to see the Holiday family just just beat the out of the Ball family, because the Holidays are truly doing what the Ball family wanted to do in the NBA.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're doing what the Ball family talks about doing, or thinks that they're doing.
Yeah, try. Well, was it Leangelo's the middle one? What, he just signed a G League contract or something with OKC. I think they just need to just let him go. I don't know. You're just asking for trouble. It's like, what do you want? Facebook likes. That's it. Or like, that's, you're getting followers, and that's about it. I mean, that bloke, he's a menace. Right. He's a menace.
They started their own shoe company, and it didn't even last like 6 months.
And then the manager was stealing from him, and then the shoe Lonzo was changing his shoes every quarter because the shoes just kept blowing apart.
He wasn't even using his own shoe. It's like, come on, guys. And they were charging $500 for a pair without plus shipping and handling.
Yeah. Come on. Oh my Lord. Yeah, no one was wearing them. That was no good. It was no good. Oh, yeah, the best laid plans. Then he sent them off to Lithuania. They were sitting out there just wasting away, and what are you doing?
Yeah, then they were like, "Oh, we don't like it here." Really?
Yeah, they don't speak English. What are you speaking?
Yeah,
it's cold all the time.
It's cold. They don't speak English. Oh, you didn't know that before?
Yeah, you didn't Google where that was. Like, that's not the US. That's away. That's Eastern Europe. That's a long way away. Yeah.
That's funny.
No good. Those guys. And then sent him out to Australia. And he even picked, because he came to Illawarra. So I think he thought it was Sydney, which is not where Illawarra is. Illawarra is like rural New South Wales. It's like a steel making like city. It's very blue collar, not at all the glitz and glam of Sydney. And I think he must have got there and just been like, "Oh, I've messed up." And they finished dead last. So they were not good. Not at all.
That's funny.
But yeah, that was the hype train is real. The hype is real. Get him on the Warriors. They need something to disrupt them with all their players coming back.
Yeah, I would like him go there.
Yeah.
See that dynasty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, tear them apart. They tried by getting Wiggins, so we'll see what happens there.
That's funny.
Yeah, sorry, Stan. I'm sorry.
You know what? The grand plans are for Giannis. We're going after Giannis.
Oh, yeah.
Wiggins plus LaMelo for Giannis.
Oh.
Well, Wiggins got traded for Kevin Love, and they won a championship out of that. So you'd be happy with that.
Yep,
that's true. Maybe the Wolves are next. Who knows?
Yeah. Look at them go. Yeah. Karl Anthony Towns ever just gives the Xbox away and starts playing basketball.
I actually really like him next year. I heard some people saying that they wouldn't touch him after what happened this year, but I don't see him being not a top 5 pick.
If he's sitting there at number 8, he's coming with me.
Yeah.
If he falls anywhere lower than top 5 and I'm sitting outside that, he is absolutely on the team 100% of the time.
Yeah, he's a stud when he's healthy. And I can't wait for him, and because I think he's gonna. This year he kind of was pouting and he got into the mood because that team was just trash. But they finally got pretty much his best friend in Russell. So I think they're gonna love playing together. And Beasley looks awesome with them. So it's gonna be. They're gonna be fun to watch next year.
Absolutely, they got some young pieces there. Naz Reid, he came out of nowhere. They got that
pretty good.
Hard nut in James Johnson. I mean, if he's not going to sort out these kids, who is?
They got Jarrett Cole. No.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing, but I like that.
We lost him.
We lost Santino. Yeah.
Dang internet.
I'm actually not very high on the Wolves. I don't think they're going to be very good. I was saying I don't think the Wolves are going to be very good next year.
You don't like them?
I don't know where their defense is going to come from. Karl Anthony Towns, he could play defense when he was younger, like in his first couple of years. I remember there was a game against the Warriors where he was guarding Curry at the 3-point line and doing a pretty good job at it. But now I don't see anyone on their team. D'Angelo Russell, I never noticed a good defensive play every single time I was watching the Warriors play earlier in the season. Not even one noticeable defensive play. Andrew Wiggins comes and actually, tries on defense. So I think the Wolves are going to be a high-scoring team, but I think they're going to win 25, 28 games, somewhere in that range.
I think they'll win in the 30s at least, but maybe they don't make the playoffs, but they're just going to be fun to watch. I think that's going to be the team that I want to watch on NBA, like live or what can I think of the thing right now? I haven't watched
NBA TV.
Yeah,
NBA
TV.
League Pass. There you go, Lyle. It's been a couple weeks. I don't even know what it's called anymore.
Yeah, well, I keep logging into my fantasy team every day, and I'm like, oh, turn it off. just weeping into the screen. Yeah, that's top in 2 of the 3 leagues, and 3 of the 4 leagues I'm in, and I'm sitting there just like soul destroying.
Yeah. You put so much time and effort into it this year, and then right like 4 days before the playoff starts, and then we don't even get to go.
Yeah. Soul destroying. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
But so you guys getting any of the AFL, the Aussie rules football, streamed into to the US? Apparently, it's just gone wild in the last few days. The only live sport that's still on.
Really, I haven't even watched it.
Yeah, I logged on to ESPN and I saw that it was like the only thing in the ticker on the top line was Australian Football League. I was like, oh, what is this? I've never heard of this.
Just
no offense, Lyle.
That's that's where all the news down here is that, I don't know, some NFL kicker, I'm not even sure who it was, watched it and started tweeting it, and everyone's just gone gangbusters. Apparently there's a whole league over in the US, and I was like, geez, I'm like an average AFL player, so I could like go over and play, be like some superstar. Probably not. But, get around it, because it's like this hybrid rugby, NFL, soccer sort of carnage sport where everyone just runs into each other and, hyper athletic, 360 game. So, pretty close to basketball, besides the fact that it's played on grass and it's a full contact sport. But if it's on, it's live sport and you can bet on it. So that's that's the main thing. But
I'll give it a look.
Definitely worth a look. They've shortened the quarters because of all the quarantine and stuff, so they're playing with no crowds. So that's a bit odd, but otherwise, 18 aside. Big grounds, played on cricket grounds, so there's a bit of space on there, and something to do, something to watch.
The only sport on, I know on FanDuel, I was looking, they're doing like NBA simulation betting, esports betting, and then they're actually, this is not even a joke, but they're betting on Survivor, like the TV show. When I first,
which by the way, I'm an avid fan of Survivor.
Yeah,
I'm an avid fan. Maybe I should go on there and see. Do you know who the odds-on favorite is?
I don't know. It was weird. I didn't actually click on it, but it says Castaways, and you can vote. Or there was free betting, and you get like credits, the site credits if you win. Maybe they changed it to actual money, but I saw that the other day. I was like, wow, they want people to stay on their site so bad they're doing Survivor betting.
Survivor is a great show. Survivor is a great show.
It's a great show, but I would have never thought of betting on it.
If you get into it, the only thing is you get worried about inside information, right? Because the actual events already happened. So what if somebody you can't actually bet money on it, right? Or can you bet money?
I think let me check, because I think you can bet.
You can bet money on it. Okay. So what if you have insider information?
Yeah, well, you don't know, but that's just the cost of business.
I wonder, because I'm a fan of the show The Challenge. That's like the only reality show I actually watch, and I was wondering if you could bet it. When I saw that they're betting on Survivor, I'm like, I wonder if you could bet on this. But same thing that you just said, Steve. It's probably a lot of insider information, because even like 2 months ago, I saw the rumors that they were revealing who won, but I refused to look at them because I'm not going to waste the whole season to know who won. I'm trying to look at FanDuel, but it's not logging me in.
The best I've seen is betting on the weather. So you can bet on the weather report. So there's we've got Sportsbet down in Australia, and because we can't actually use our good friends at MyBookie, you can't actually sign up in Australia because it's US only. But we you can bet on the weather, and so the weather report comes out based on Channel 7 and Channel 9, and odds that it'll be above 30 degrees or
That's insane.
it's going to rain. Yeah, so we've been okay. We've had online sports betting for a little while over here, so
The weather. I would have never guessed the weather.
Yeah, no, it is good fun, but some of the odds, it's like it's going to rain, come out of nowhere, and people are just losing copious amounts of money on whether or not it's going to rain, contesting where you are, and it's madness. It's madness. People have got too much time now they're at home.
Yeah, that's probably part of the reason.
Yeah,
and there's not much else to bet on, so they're just doing whatever they can.
Just throw it out there. But it is interesting times indeed. What do we reckon? We're just about hitting the hour mark, and I know it's late over on both the coasts for you guys. Saturday night rager over in the US. I mean, for me, beautiful. I think it's about 26, 27 degrees Celsius over here. So I'm in t-shirt and shorts, be rolling around. Probably go outside, do some stretches, walk back inside, make another coffee. It's probably how exciting it's my day. Set up my home office because work again tomorrow. But what do we reckon? We put a pin in this one and call it?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Awesome. Thanks very much for joining us for episode 11 of Saturday Night Lyle. Hopefully we can keep this going, and it was nice. It was nice chatting. I think we would have been in a bit of strife having no basketball to talk about. So thanks very much for joining me. We've had Steve and Santino with us. I'm Lyle. This has been Saturday Night Lyle, and we'll see you next week. All righty.